Hey everyone! If you're loving the stories and want to get all parts fully uncensored, plus loads of exclusive content, and help keep me motivated to create even more, I'd really appreciate it if you checked out my Patreon. For just $4, you'll unlock over 440 stories to suit every taste, new exclusives dropping daily that you won't find anywhere else, and you can even suggest your own ideas for future ones. Link is in the description or comments. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoy.
The Hidden Leaf Village basked in the gentle glow of a late afternoon sun. Cherry blossoms drifted lazily on the breeze, and the distant sounds of training echoed from the academy grounds. Life in Konoha was peaceful, almost idyllic, a far cry from the war-torn world Naruto once knew. In this reality, the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, still led the village with his trademark calm efficiency, and his wife, Kushina Uzumaki, the fiery Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, lived happily by his side. Their twins, Naruto and Narumi, grew up in a warm home filled with love, laughter, and the occasional explosive scolding from their red-haired mother. Yet for the boy everyone dismissed as the dead last, everything had changed a week ago. Inside the Namikaze family home, the kitchen smelled of fresh-cooked miso and lingering spices from lunch. Kushina sat at the large wooden table, her long, vibrant red hair cascading down her back like molten silk. She toyed with the rim of her teacup, violet eyes troubled, cheeks faintly flushed with lingering shame. Naruto sat opposite her, casually finishing his third bowl of ramen. His spiky blonde hair caught the sunlight, and his blue eyes, sharper and more knowing than anyone in this world remembered, watched her carefully. "Naruto!" Kushina finally spoke, her voice soft and uncertain. "These past 3 nights, something's wrong with me, Databane. I completely lost control. I've been a failure as a mother. The sake, it made me do things I never should have. No more drinking. I swear it won't happen again." Her words were meant to draw a line, to restore propriety. But Naruto heard only opportunity. He set his chopsticks down with deliberate calm and rose, circling the table until he stood behind her. Strong hands settled on her shoulders, thumbs gently kneading the tension there. "Mom," he said, voice low and velvet steady. "You didn't fail at anything. You were finally free, honest about what you wanted. Those nights were the best thing that's ever happened to us." Kushina's breath caught. "Naruto, I'm your mother. Minato is away on a classified mission for at least another week," he finished, leaning down until his lips brushed the shell of her ear. "And we both know you loved every second of it. I felt it. Every moan, every shiver, every time you begged for more." Her body betrayed her before her mind could catch up. A shiver ran down her spine, heat pooling low in her belly. Before she could summon another protest, Naruto spun her chair and claimed her mouth in a fierce, possessive kiss. His tongue swept past her lips, tasting tea and the faint sweetness that was uniquely Kushina. She whimpered into him, hands clutching at his orange jacket as her resolve shattered like glass. With effortless strength he lifted her onto the kitchen table, dishes clattering noisily to the floor. His fingers made quick work of her obi, robe falling open to reveal the lush curves he'd already memorized, full, heavy chest with dusky pink nipples already pebbled, narrow waist flaring into wide, fertile hips. He growled appreciatively, cupping both firmly, thumbs flicking over sensitive peaks. "Naruto, we shouldn't," she gasped, but her back arched, pushing her chest harder into his hands, fingers burying themselves in his spiky blonde hair. He smirked against her skin, trailing open-mouthed kisses down her throat to her chest. Taking one stiff nipple between his lips, he lavished attention firmly, tongue swirling while his teeth grazed just enough to make her cry out. His other hand teased its twin, drawing louder and louder moans from her throat. Lower still, his palms slid between her thighs, finding her utterly soaked. He pushed the fabric aside, building intense heat with expert touches. "Listen to you," he murmured, voice thick with lust. "So ready for me. Your core is begging, Mom. Tell me what you want." Kushina's head fell back, red hair spilling across the table like living flame. "I want you. I want you deep inside me, please, Naruto." Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. They collapsed together, panting and slick with sweat. Kushina turned weakly in his arms, nuzzling against his chest. This has to stay our secret. But gods, I don't regret a single moment. Naruto stroked her hair, satisfaction burning in his chest. First conquest complete. The next morning, golden sunlight poured through Naruto's bedroom window. The house was quiet. Narumi had left at dawn for extra training, eager to impress their father upon his return. The door opened softly. Kushina slipped inside wearing only a thin silk robe that clung to her curves, hair tousled from restless sleep, violet eyes bright with renewed hunger. I couldn't stop thinking about yesterday, she confessed in a whisper, crawling onto the bed. Let your mother take care of you properly this morning. She tugged the sheet away, breath warm against his already throbbing hardness. Soft hands and mouth lavished worshipful attention, building intense waves of pleasure. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. She crawled up his body, robe falling fully open, and curled against his chest. Good morning, my love. He kissed her forehead, arm tightening around her. She's completely mine now. 1 week earlier, Naruto jolted awake in a bed that felt far too comfortable. His body was lighter, less scarred, less powerful. Panic surged as he bolted to the mirror. Staring back was a 16-year-old version of himself. Whisker marks, spiky blonde hair, bright blue eyes, but none of the hard-earned muscle or battle-worn aura. Memories that weren't his flooded in. Minato alive. Kushina alive. A twin sister, Narumi, blonde with red highlights, talented, beloved. No QB attack. No endless wars. And him, the perennial failure, mocked by classmates, pitted by teachers, looked down upon by the female Uchiha prodigy Satsuki. But beneath it all beat the heart and mind of the real Naruto Uzumaki, the one who had talked no jutsu gods, mastered sage mode, befriended Kurama, and become Hokage. Trapped in this softer world, a wicked smile slowly spread across his face. No world-ending threats. No destiny of suffering. Just peace, and a village full of gorgeous, neglected mothers. His mental list formed instantly. Kushina. Mikoto Uchiha. Narumi, his own sister, taboo made it sweeter. Yoshino Nara. Tsunade Senju. Hitomi Hyuga, Hinata's elegant mother. Hana Yamanaka, Ino's stunning mother. And more. He spent the week training in complete secrecy, unlocking massive chakra reserves, refining control, growing stronger at an impossible pace. Kurama's voice rumbled approvingly in his mind. Finally chasing something fun, kid. Go get him. Late night talks with Kushina over sake slowly turned heated, lingering touches, flushed cheeks, stolen kisses, until the dam finally broke. A few days later evening. The living room was bathed in soft lamplight. Naruto lounged on the wide couch, Kushina straddling his lap in reverse, grinding slowly and sensually, her back arched, red hair swaying as intense heat built with soft moans. They were lost in each other when the front door opened without warning. Mikoto Uchiha stepped inside, elegant in a deep purple kimono that hugged her mature figure, long black hair swept into a low ponytail. She had come for tea and gossip with her best friend. Instead, she found Kushina in throes of passion. Mikoto did not scream. Did not flee. Her onyx eyes traveled slowly over the scene, taking in Kushina's debauched beauty, then lingering on Naruto's throbbing hardness. A slow, intrigued smile curved her lips. Fugaka had been cold and distant for years. The Uchiha compound felt like a mausoleum. And the raw, forbidden passion before her stirred a deep, aching need. She closed the door softly and let her obi fall. If you're sharing, Mikoto purred, letting the kimono pool at her feet to reveal sheer black lace lingerie that left little to the imagination, full chest straining against delicate fabric, hips wide and inviting. Then I'd like to join. Naruto's grin was pure predator. Within moments both women knelt before him on the soft rug, fiery red and sleek black hair side by side. They lavished intense attention together, tongues tangling in shared heat. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. He claimed them repeatedly, bodies pressed in waves of overwhelming pleasure, voices blending in cries and pleas. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. Afterward, the three lay in a satisfied tangle on the rug, sweat-slick skin, heaving breaths, soft afterglow touches. Makoto traced lazy circles over Naruto's chest. "This stays between us," she murmured, voice husky. "But I will definitely be coming back for more." Kushina smiled sleepily, pressing a kiss to Makoto's shoulder. "Welcome to our secret, Miko-chan." Naruto held both women close, heartbeats steady and triumphant. Two mothers claimed. The harem had truly begun. Weeks blurred into a heated routine of secrecy and indulgence after Kushina and Makoto fully surrendered. The Namikaze household had become a den of forbidden pleasure whenever Minato was away on missions. Kushina, once consumed by maternal guilt, now sought Naruto out with barely concealed desperation, stealing quick, risky moments in the hallway or kitchen. Makoto's visits, always under the innocent cover of catching up with Kushina, inevitably ended with the elegant Uchiha matriarch stripped bare, trembling in ecstasy while Naruto claimed her alongside her best friend. The two women had grown closer than ever, their friendship evolving into something deeper under Naruto's guidance. He loved watching them, fiery red and sleek black hair tangled as they kissed slowly, hands exploring familiar curves while waiting for him to join. Those sessions often lasted hours, leaving all three exhausted and utterly satisfied. In the shadows of the forest, Naruto's training reached new heights. Rasengan variants spun effortlessly in his palms, chakra cloaks flickered gold and red, and Kurama's voice echoed with increasing approval. "You're not just collecting women, kid, you're building an empire. I like this version of you." But the thrill of conquest burned hottest when his thoughts turned to family. Narumi Uzumaki. His twin, his mirror, his perfect opposite. She was everything the village adored, powerful, charismatic, unstoppable. Long blonde hair cascaded down her back with bold red streaks that caught the light like flames, bright blue eyes sparkled with confidence, and those 3 whisker marks framed a face that turned heads. Her body was a shinobi's dream. Athletic and toned from relentless training, medium-sized chest that strained against her tops, flat stomach, powerful thighs, and hips that filled her shorts in ways that now drove Naruto mad with desire. Narumi still patted his head affectionately, calling him Slowpoke, or Little Bro, completely unaware of the storm brewing inside him. He chose the perfect night. Minato remained on his extended mission. Kushina was sleeping over at Makoto's. A lie Naruto had orchestrated with a knowing wink from his mother. Narumi burst through the door late, body slick with sweat and adrenaline from extra sparring. Her orange crop top clung to her skin, revealing toned abs and the underside of her sports bra. Tight black shorts hugged her hips and thighs, accentuating every muscle. She collapsed onto the living room couch with an exaggerated groan, kicking off her sandals. "Iruka-sensei is trying to kill us! New drills all day." "You should have joined, Naruto. Might have finally learned something useful." Naruto handed her a tall glass of chilled fruit juice he'd prepared earlier, settling beside her with a casual smile. "I've been training. Just not in public." She rolled her eyes but accepted the drink, gulping it down thirstily. The subtle chakra-infused relaxant, refined from ancient Uzumaki sealing techniques, dissolved instantly. It wouldn't force anything, only lowered barriers, amplified sensations, and brought buried feelings to the surface. They talked easily at first, her bragging about landing a new jutsu combination, him nodding with quiet confidence. Gradually, Narumi's posture shifted. Her laughter grew breathier, cheeks flushing deeper. She scooted closer until her bare thigh pressed firmly against his. "You really are different now," she murmured, head tilting as she studied his face up close. Her blue eyes were slightly unfocused, pupils wide. "Stronger. More intense. It's kinda hot, actually," Naruto's blood sang. He cupped her whiskered cheek gently, thumb brushing her lower lip. "You've always been the hot one, Narumi. My perfect twin sister." Her breath hitched. Before doubt could form, he closed the distance and kissed her, slow, deep, deliberate. Narumi froze for a split second, shock flashing through her, then surged forward, kissing back with pent-up fire. Her hands fisted in his jacket, tongue kneading his hungrily as years of sibling closeness ignited into raw, desperate need. Naruto pulled her onto his lap, straddling him. His hands slid under her crop top, pushing it up and revealing her firm chest, nipples hard and begging. He cupped them roughly, teasing sensitive peaks as Narumi moaned into his mouth, grinding her soaked core against his rapidly throbbing hardness. "Naruto, we're twins. Mom and Dad would." She gasped, but her hips rolled harder, seeking friction. "Does this feel wrong?" he growled, one hand diving into her shorts. His fingers found her utterly soaked, building intense heat relentlessly. Narumi bucked with a sharp cry, nails digging into his shoulders as pleasure overwhelmed her protests. "No, fuck no! Don't stop, please don't stop." He stripped her completely in frantic seconds, top, shorts, panties tossed aside. Laid bare, Narumi was breathtaking. Flushed skin glowing, whisker marks stark, red-streaked blonde hair wild across the cushions. He spread her legs wide and lavished intense attention, building waves of throbbing desire until she trembled hard in deep release. Panting, eyes glazed with lust, she tugged at his clothes. "I need you inside me. Now." Naruto revealed his thick, throbbing length, rubbing along her soaked heat teasingly. "Beg for it, sister. Tell me you want your twin brother's hardness claiming you." Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. Narumi's surrender elevated the harem to new decadence. She eagerly joined sessions with Kushina, mother and daughter sharing intense heat with increasing passion, pressing close in deep connection while waves of throbbing pleasure built relentlessly. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. Mikoto's editions turned evenings into breathtaking gatherings. Red, black, and twin blondes writhing in a symphony of moans, bodies slick and entangled as they competed to please him and each other. But Naruto's ambitions stretched further. Word spread quickly. Legendary Sannin Tsunade Senju had returned to Konoha temporarily, offering advanced medical seminars while, predictably, hitting the gambling halls hard. Naruto orchestrated their meeting at her favorite Dango and Sake bar. Using shadow clones to rack up wins at nearby tables, he, generously, covered her growing tab with a confident, knowing smile. Tsunade eyed him over her cup, spiky blonde hair, whisker marks, but with a mature, dangerous edge that intrigued her. Several cups deep and impressed by his boldness, she smirked. "You've got nerve, Uzumaki brat. And deep pockets tonight. Come back to my apartment, I'll give you some real training tips." The door slammed. Clothes flew. Tsunade pinned him to the wall with superhuman strength, massive chest crushing against his as she devoured his mouth in a fierce, hungry kiss. Her hands tore his shirt open while he gripped her thighs and hips hard, squeezing firmly. He ripped her robe apart, revealing those legendary curves, enormous, perfectly rounded chest, pale pink nipples erect and begging. He lavished them intensely, sucking deep, teeth grazing while hands kneaded and teased sensitive peaks. Tsunade moaned loudly, head falling back as pleasure surged through her. She sank to her knees, freeing his thick throbbing length and expressing all. Her experienced mouth descended, lavishing masterful attention, building intense waves as she took him deeper. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. He hauled her up before release, throwing her onto the bed and spreading those powerful thighs. He lavished voracious attention, building explosive waves until Tsunade trembled intensely in deep release. He claimed her deeply, her eyes rolling back as legs locked around him with crushing force. He began pounding deep and hard. Her massive chest bounced hypnotically with every movement. They indulged like legends, positions shifting with raw power and insatiable appetite, bodies trembling uncontrollably in countless waves. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. Afterward, Tsunade lay utterly spent and glowing in his arms, fingers lazily tracing his whisker marks. "You're no brat. You're a goddamned force of nature. This isn't a one-night thing, Naruto. I'll be craving this, craving you, every time I'm in the village." Naruto kissed her possessively, satisfaction thrumming through every fiber. For conquered. The strongest woman alive now belongs to me. As Tsunade drifted into deep, satisfied sleep, Naruto stared at the ceiling, mind already plotting the next falls. Yoshino Naru's sharp mind and sultry maturity. Hitomi Hyuga's refined elegance. Hana Yamanaka's playful seduction. The mothers of Konoha were his for the taking. And the harem was only growing stronger. Konoha's autumn festival preparations turned the village into a whirlwind of color and activity. Lanterns strung across streets, stalls rising overnight, the scent of grilled food mingling with falling leaves. Beneath the festive surface, Naruto's secret empire of pleasure expanded relentlessly. His harem of 5 devoted women, Kushina, Mikoto, Narumi, Tsunade, and now Yoshino, lived for his touch. Stolen moments filled their days. Quick, risky encounters in hidden alleys, late-night summons to the Namikaze home, and elaborate group sessions where shadow clones ensured no one was ever left wanting. The women had bonded deeply in their shared devotion. Kushina and Narumi's mother-daughter dynamic added delicious intensity to every gathering. Mikoto and Yoshino, both sharp-minded matriarchs, found unexpected kinship in surrendering control. Tsunade's visits, though rare, shook the foundations, literally. With her raw power and insatiable appetite, Naruto's own growth was unstoppable. Secret training pushed him toward Hokage-level mastery, Kurama's approving rumbles a constant companion. But 2 conquests dominated his thoughts this week: Yoshino Naru's full surrender and sweet revenge on Satsuki Uchiha. Yoshino's fall began in a cluttered storage shed during festival setup. Guys, please don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment if you enjoyed it. It means the world to me and gives me a huge boost of motivation. Your support keeps me going. She directed volunteers with precise commands, long dark brown ponytails swinging authoritatively. Green eyes narrowed as Naruto effortlessly hauled heavy crates, a rare flicker of approval crossing her face. You're not as useless as I thought, Uzumaki. When the others left for lunch, Naruto sealed the door subtly and activated a hidden tag, chakra lace to awaken buried desires. Heat built rapidly. Yoshino tugged at her collar, cheeks flushing. Why is it so stifling in here? Naruto closed the gap slowly, predator to prey. He cupped her face and kissed her deeply, firm, commanding. Yoshino stiffened in shock, then moaned softly as neglected passion roared to life. Her hands clutched his jacket, pulling him closer as tongues battled. He untied her kimono with deliberate slowness, savoring her sharp intake of breath. Black lace clung to her mature curves, full, heavy chest straining against delicate fabric, hips wide and inviting. He freed her dark-nippled chest, lavishing immediate intense attention, sucking hard, teeth grazing as his hand kneaded roughly. Yoshino's ponytail whipped as her head fell back. Shikaka hasn't, not like this, in years, she gasped, voice trembling with need. Her hands fumbled urgently at his pants, freeing his thick throbbing length. Green eyes widened in awe. She sank willingly to her knees, experienced lips lavishing masterful attention, building waves as she looked up with newfound submission. Naruto threaded fingers through her ponytail, guiding her rhythm until intense pleasure surged. Pulling her up, he spun her around and bent her over stacked crates. Panties shoved aside, he teased her soaked heat. Beg for it, Yoshino-sensei. Beg the troublemaker to claim you. Please, claim me, Naruto! I've needed this so badly. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. Yoshino slumped against the crates, ponytail disheveled, body trembling. She turned weakly, green eyes soft with surrender. I'm completely yours now. Use me whenever, however you desire. Naruto kissed her possessively. 5 fully claimed. But revenge called next. Satsuki Uchiha, the arrogant prodigy who had mocked him for years. Long raven hair in a high ponytail, piercing onyx eyes, pale skin, and an athletic body honed to perfection, firm chest, toned abs, long powerful legs. Even as Naruto's reputation grew, Satsuki continued her jabs, with that infuriating smirk. He chose a remote training ground at dusk for payback. Satsuki finished her kata, sweat glistening on exposed skin, cropped mesh top and tight shorts hugging every curve. Come to watch a real shinobi train dead last? Naruto's smile was dangerous. A shadow clone created distant distractions while he activated a custom seal, temporary binding with intense arousal amplification. Satsuki froze mid-taunt, body heating rapidly, core aching with sudden need. What jutsu is this? Release me! Naruto pressed her against a thick tree trunk, trapping her wrists above her head with one hand. Payback time, Satsuki. For every insult, every smirk, you're going to learn respect the hard way. He crushed his mouth against hers. Rough, punishing. Satsuki struggled briefly, then moaned deeply as the seal's effects overwhelmed her pride. Her tongue met his desperately despite herself. His free hand ripped her top open, exposing perfect chest, pale pink nipples already hard. He lavished them viciously, sucking deep while pinching hard, then switching to mark her pale skin with dark hickeys. Satsuki's back arched, hips grinding against him involuntarily. He bound her hands behind her back with chakra rope, bending her over a fallen log. Shorts and panties yanked down, he delivered firm caresses, until her firm thighs and hips glowed warm and she trembled with need. This is for every time you called me weak. For every smirk. Now beg for my hardness, proud Uchiha. Please, Naruto! Claim me, punish me with your throbbing length. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. Satsuki collapsed limply, ponytail undone, onyx eyes now soft and worshipful. I was so wrong, punish me anytime. I'll be good, master. Naruto stroked her hair. Broken. Ready for the harem soon. That very night, fueled by duo victories, Naruto orchestrated his most ambitious indulgence. All 5 harem members gathered in the master bedroom. Kushina's fiery red hair loose, Mikoto elegant in silk, Narumi bouncing with excitement, Tsunade's massive curves barely contained, Yoshino's ponytail swaying nervously. Tonight, Naruto announced, chakra flaring. No waiting. Shadow clone jutsu! 5 perfect clones appeared, each radiating the same dominant hunger. The room transformed into pure, overwhelming ecstasy, bodies intertwined everywhere in waves of shared heat and pulsing desire. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. Clones dispelled, memories surging back. Naruto lay centered, surrounded by devoted touches and soft praises. Kushina nuzzled weakly. My incredible son! Tsunade laughed hoarsely. Never thought I'd crave sharing this much. Narumi kissed him lazily. Best night of my life. Mikoto and Yoshino murmured devoted agreement. Naruto held his harem close, satisfaction absolute. 5 mothers fully owned. Satsuki broken and waiting. The conquest of Konoha accelerated, and he was far from finished. Winter settled over Konoha like a soft, silent blanket. Frost traced delicate patterns on windows, and the village paths crunched faintly underfoot. Smoke curled from chimneys, carrying the scent of roasting chestnuts and hot tea. The Hyuga compound, with its high walls and manicured gardens, stood serene amid the chill, a bastion of tradition and quiet power. Naruto's empire of desire had reached new heights. His harem now numbered 9 devoted souls, Kushina and Narumi's fiery taboo bond, Mikoto and Satsuki's rivalrous Uchiha passion. Satsuki fully surrendered after weeks of intense sessions left her craving more, Tsunade's earth-shaking strength, Yoshino's sharp surrender. Group sessions had become ritualistic, shadow clones weaving a tapestry of pleasure that left the women glowing for days. Yet one clan remained untouched, the proud Hyuga. Hitomi Hyuga. Matriarch in all but name, mother to Hinata and Hanabi, was elegance incarnate. Long, silky indigo hair flowed like midnight water to her lower back, framing a face of porcelain perfection. Pale lavender Byakugan eyes held centuries of clan pride, yet softened with maternal warmth. Her body, hidden beneath layered traditional robes, was a masterpiece of mature beauty. Full, heavy chest that strained subtly against fabric, a narrow waist cinched by years of discipline, and wide, fertile hips that swayed with unconscious grace. Widowed to Hayashi's brother, lost years ago in this peaceful timeline, she had raised her daughters alone, embodying restraint, while quietly aching for something more. Naruto's opportunity arose during a formal inter-clan meeting. As a rising star, whispers of his strength now impossible to ignore, he was invited as escort and observer. In the Hyuga Gardens, amid frozen koi ponds and bare cherry trees, he found moments alone with Hitomi in a secluded tea house. Steam rose from delicate porcelain cups as she poured with flawless poise. "You have grown remarkably, Naruto-kun," Hitomi said softly, lavender eyes studying him over the rim. "The village sees it. I see it." He held her gaze, chakra flowing subtly to activate a hidden seal on the table's edge, arousal amplification woven into a calming array, gentle and insidious. The air grew warmer, heavier. Hitomi's breath quickened almost imperceptibly, a faint blush dusting her pale cheeks. Her fingers trembled as she set down the teapot. Naruto rose silently, moving behind her. Strong hands settled on her shoulders, thumbs pressing gentle circles. "You've carried the weight of your clan alone for too long, Hitomi-sama. Allow me to relieve that burden." His lips brushed the elegant curve of her neck. Soft at first, then deeper, sending shivers down her spine as she tilted her head involuntarily. A soft sigh escaped her lips, centuries of restraint fracturing in moments. Robes parted under his skilled fingers, layer by layer, revealing pale, flawless skin and delicate white lace lingerie that hugged her voluptuous form like a secret. Full, heavy chest spilled free, large and perfectly rounded, pale nipples hardening in the cool air. Naruto cupped them reverently, thumbs circling the sensitive peaks as Hitomi arched subtly, a quiet moan escaping despite herself. "This is improper for a Hyuga," she whispered, but her hands covered his, pressing them harder against her chest. He turned her to face him, sinking to his knees briefly to trail kisses down her stomach before guiding her to kneel on the tatame. Elegant fingers, trained for gentle fist, trembled as they revealed his thick throbbing length. Lavender eyes widened in awe and hunger before soft lips lavished devoted attention, indigo hair swaying with each motion. Naruto threaded fingers through her silky locks, guiding without force. "So beautiful, so perfect, Hitomi-sama." Pulling her up gently, he laid her on the low tea-house table, robes fully open, legs parting willingly. He knelt between them, lavishing worshipful attention on her soaked heat, building intense waves until her Byakugan activated involuntarily, veins pulsing around wide, overwhelmed eyes. Hitomi's composure shattered, quiet elegance giving way to desperate cries as she trembled hard in deep release, hips arching against him. "Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire." He rose, positioning himself at her core. "Look at me," he commanded softly. Lavender eyes locked on blue as he claimed her deeply. Slow, deliberate, filling her completely. Hitomi's legs wrapped around him instinctively, nails digging into his back as he began a steady, powerful rhythm. The table creaked softly under them, her full chest bouncing with each movement. She trembled again and again, voice breaking into pleas as he angled deeper, building overwhelming heat. "Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire." Finally, with a shared groan, he buried himself fully in release. Thick, hot nectar flooding deeply, marking the Hyuga matriarch irrevocably. Hitomi lay trembling in aftershocks, indigo hair fanned across the table, lavender eyes soft with newfound devotion. She reached for him weakly, pulling him close. "You have awakened something I long buried," she whispered, voice husky. "The Hyuga pride bends to you now, Naruto-kun. Use me as you wish." Naruto kissed her possessively, satisfaction absolute. Ten claimed. The proudest clan now his. And with Hitomi's surrender came quiet promises, of Hinata and Hanabi watching through Byakugan glimpses, of future gatherings where indigo hair mingled with red, black, and blonde. The conquest of Konoha's mothers was nearly complete. Only a few remained, and Naruto's hunger showed no signs of fading.